Good morning, and welcome to our series, Questions and Answers for a World in Crisis. Today's subject is beauty. Sri Aurobindo. Man's seeking after beauty reaches its most intense and satisfying expression in the creative arts, poetry, painting, sculpture, architecture. But in its full extension, there is no activity of his nature or his life from which it need or ought to be excluded, provided we understand beauty both in its widest and its truest sense. A complete and universal appreciation of beauty, and the making entirely beautiful our whole life and being, must surely be a necessary character of the perfect individual and the perfect society. But in its origin, this seeking for beauty is not rational. It springs from the roots of our life. It is an instinct and an impulse, an instinct of aesthetic satisfaction and an impulse of aesthetic creation and enjoyment. For the conscious appreciation of beauty reaches its height of enlightenment and enjoyment, not by analysis of the beauty enjoyed, or even by a right and intelligent understanding of it. These things are only a preliminary clarifying of our first unenlightened sense of the beautiful, but by an exaltation of the soul in which it opens itself entirely to the light and power and joy of the creation. The soul of beauty in us identifies itself with the soul of beauty in the thing created, and feels in appreciation the same divine intoxication and uplifting which the artist felt in creation. What has been said of great creative art, that being the form in which normally our highest and intensest aesthetic satisfaction is achieved, applies to all beauty. Beauty in nature, beauty in life, as well as beauty in art. And for the same reason, because that which we are seeking through beauty is, in the end, that which we are seeking through religion, the absolute, the divine. The search for beauty is only in its beginning a satisfaction in the beauty of form, the beauty which appeals to the physical senses and the vital impressions, impulsions, desires. It is only in the middle a satisfaction in the beauty of the ideas seized, the emotions aroused, the perception of a perfect process and harmonious combination. Behind them, the soul of beauty in us desires the contact, the revelation, the uplifting delight of an absolute beauty in all things, which it feels to be present, but which neither the senses and instincts by themselves can give, though they may be its channels. For it is supra-sensuous, nor the reason and intelligence, though they too are a channel, for it is supra-rational, supra-intellectual, but to which, through all these veils, the soul itself seeks to arrive. When it can get the touch of this universal, absolute beauty, this soul of beauty, this sense of its revelation in any slightest or greatest thing, the beauty of a flower, a form, the beauty and power of a character, an action, an event, a human life, an idea, a stroke of the brush or the chisel, or the scintillation of the mind, the colors of a sunset, or the grandeur of the tempest. It is then that the sense of beauty in us is really, powerfully, entirely satisfied. It is, in truth, seeking, as in religion, for the divine, the all-beautiful in man, in nature, in life, in thought, in art. For God is beauty and delight, hidden in the variation of his masks and forms. When fulfilled in our growing sense and knowledge of beauty, and delight in beauty, and our power for beauty, we are able to identify ourselves in soul with this absolute and divine in all the forms and activities of the world, and shape an image of our inner and outer life in the highest image we can perceive and embody of the all-beautiful. Then the aesthetic being in us, who was born for this end, has fulfilled himself and risen to his divine consummation. To find highest beauty is to find God, to reveal, to embody, to create, as we say. Highest beauty is to bring out of our souls the living image and power of God. Beauty is the special divine manifestation in the physical, as truth is in the mind, love in the heart, power in the vital. Supramental beauty is the highest divine beauty manifesting in matter. Beauty is the way in which the physical expresses the divine. But the principle and law of beauty is something inward and spiritual, and expresses itself through the form. Beauty is Ananda taking form. But the form need not be a physical shape. One speaks of a beautiful thought, a beautiful act, a beautiful soul. What we speak of as beauty is Ananda in manifestation. Beyond manifestation, beauty loses itself in Ananda. Or you may say, beauty and Ananda become indistinguishably one. Beauty is not the same as delight, but like love, it is an expression, a form of Ananda, created by Ananda and composed of Ananda. It conveys to the mind that delight of which it is made. Aesthetically, the delight takes the appearance of rasa, and the enjoyment of this rasa is the mind's and vital's reaction to the perception of beauty. The spiritual realization has a sight, a perception, a feeling, which is not that of the mind and vital. It passes beyond the aesthetic limit, sees the universal beauty, sees behind the object what the eye cannot see, feels what the emotion of the heart cannot feel, and passes beyond rasa and bhoga to pure Ananda, a thing more deep, intense, rapturous than any mental or vital or any physical rasa reaction can be. It sees the one everywhere, the original bliss of existence everywhere. And all these can create an inexpressible Ananda of beauty, the beauty of the One, the beauty of the divine, the beauty of the beloved, the beauty of the eternal existence in things. It can also see the beauty of forms and objects, but with a seeing other than the mind's, other than that of a limited physical vision. What was not beautiful to the eye becomes beautiful. What was beautiful to the eye wears now a greater, marvelous, and ineffable beauty. The spiritual realization can bring the vision and the rapture of the all-beautiful everywhere. That is the right consciousness, not to desire or to be attached to the possession of anything for oneself, but to take the universal beauty, etc., for a spiritual, selfless Ananda. All things are creations of the universal consciousness. Beauty also. The experience of the individual in his response or his awakening to the beauty which the universal consciousness has placed in things, that beauty is not created by the individual consciousness. The philosophy of these lines, and Sri Aurobindo mentions some lines, but I don't have the reference. He says, the philosophy of these lines is not at all clear. It says that the experience of beauty is a living truth added to beauty, a truth which beauty is unaware. But if beauty is only the experience itself, then the experience constitutes beauty. It does not add anything to beauty, for such addition would only be possible if beauty already existed in itself apart from the experience. What is meant by saying that beauty is unaware of the experience which created it? The passage makes sense only if we suppose it to mean that beauty is a reality already existing apart from the experience, but unconscious of itself. And the consciousness of experience is therefore a living truth added to the unconscious reality, something which brings into it consciousness and life. There is a certain consciousness in which all things become full of beauty and ananda. Even what is painful and ugly becomes an outward play and becomes suffused with the beauty and ananda behind. It is specially the overmind consciousness of things, although it can be felt from time to time on the other planes also. A great equality and the view of the divine everywhere is necessary for this to come fully. Art is a thing of beauty, and beauty and ananda are closely connected. They go together. If the ananda is there, then the beauty comes out more easily. If not, it has to struggle out painfully and slowly. That is quite natural. Bhoga to pure ananda, a thing more deep, intense, rapturous than any mental or vital or any physical rasa reaction can be. It sees the one everywhere, the divine everywhere, the beloved everywhere, the original bliss of existence everywhere. And all these can create an inexpressible ananda of beauty, the beauty of the one, the beauty of the divine, the beauty of the beloved, the beauty of the eternal existence in things. It can see also the beauty of forms and objects, but with a seeing other than the mind's, other than that of a limited physical vision. What was not beautiful to the eye becomes beautiful. What was beautiful to the eye wears now a greater, marvelous, and ineffable beauty. The spiritual realization can bring the vision and the rapture of the all-beautiful everywhere. And now, the words of the Mother. Let beauty be your constant ideal. The beauty of soul, beauty of sentiment, beauty of thought, beauty of action, beauty in work, so that nothing comes out of your hands which is not an expression of pure and harmonious beauty. And the divine help will always be with you. In the world of forms, a violation of beauty is as great a fault as a violation of truth in the world of ideas. For beauty is the worship that nature offers to the Supreme Master of the universe. Beauty is the divine language in form, and a consciousness of the divine that is not translated outwardly by an understanding and expression of beauty would be an incomplete consciousness. There is a beauty on every plane of the being, right up to the divine himself. Material beauty is but a very poor translation of that beauty. Yes, there is a beauty of thought, a beauty of feeling. This is something we perceive very often when someone has done a very noble deed, very generous, very unselfish. Quite spontaneously we say, it is beautiful, and it's true. It gives the sense of beauty. Beauty is not something purely physical. However, we have said that the best expression of the divine in the physical world is beauty. But it is not exclusive. It does not mean that it is only in the physical world. In fact, beauty is something very elusive. It is a kind of harmony which you experience much more than think. And the true supra-rational relation with beauty is not at all a reasonable relation. Sri Aurobindo will tell you this at the end. It completely overpasses reason. It is a contact in a higher realm. But then, quite recently, I suddenly felt this sensation of something very new, something of the future, pushing, trying to manifest, trying to express itself and not succeeding, but something which will be a terrific progress over all that has been felt and expressed before. And then, at the same time, is born the movement of consciousness which turns to this new thing and wants to grasp it. This will perhaps be interesting. That is why I told you, 10 years. Perhaps in 10 years, there will be people who have found a new expression. A great progress would be necessary, an immense progress in the technique. The old technique seems barbarous, And now with the new scientific discoveries, perhaps the technique of execution will change, and one could find a new technique which would then express this new beauty which wants to manifest. We shall speak about it in 10 years' time. Au revoir. There are so many more quotes from Sri Aurobindo and Mother that we refer you to all their writings through our website, which is cross-platform, so all of their words can be accessed without the need of searching book by book. Thank you.